Right, okay then. So here it is, Stormbringer. I've got now with me volumes 3, 4, I think 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let me just double check my counting there because I can be terrible at counting at times. Yes. Okay. Right, here we go then. So I'm going to start with volume 3. Okay, this is the one with the Stormcasts in. So Stormcast Vindictors. Right, now as you know, I'm actually painting everything up at the moment, and I've promised myself that I'm gonna, eventually get round to forcing my son to play with me. He does actually love Warhammer. He actually wants to collect the Nighthaunt. He likes the idea of the ghosts, but still I want to play with him. So let's just have a quick look inside then before we look at the miniatures. What we've got then is obviously, nice bit of artwork on the front cover. To, I assume, basically to give you a good idea of what the Vindicators do. Enter the realm of beasts, your biggest battle yet. Right, so what have we got in here? So, well, we got, nice little bit of information. Monsters of Gur. It's, basically just talking about the types of beasts and monsters that you're likely to come across. Again, I'm really trying to learn a lot more about the lore behind Age of Sigmar. I was one of those people who was devastated when, we lost Warhammer Fantasy Battles. And I never quite fell right in away with it. But, the lore is actually starting to sort of draw me in a little bit more. The idea that, the world that was just got destroyed, and a new realm was created, and I like the idea and the story behind it. And this kind of, I suppose, for people who never played Warhammer Fantasy, that story is actually quite nice. Anyway, so Stormcast Vindicators, ultimate defensive troops. So yeah, we've got basically we've got spear infantry for the Stormcast, which are quite interesting. Thunderstrike armor made by the Doradin god Grungni. Flexible, durable, and woven with runes of protection. Every one of these suits of plate is a masterpiece that would take a mortal artisan years to complete. Thunderstrike armor does not just guard the wearer's body, but also their soul. That's kind of cool. Right then. So basically, dwarven Dawi, forged armor, which I like the idea of. Okay, interesting name, and again, you get sort of like a hero name, a unit name. We're still on the push fit. I'm hoping that starts to change soon. And then, of course, how, I find it quite interesting, how a die works. I think for most people, a six-sided dice are obviously quite obvious, but I suppose this isn't just for experienced players. If you've never played before, explaining that might be useful and interesting. It is to me, oddly enough. Okay, so we've got the idea of war scrolls coming along, and doing a little bit of a border skirmish that I really do want to get around to doing. I want to play each of the scenarios. I really do. Okay, so we've got some nice stuff in there, and it looks like we're kind of building up to a real battle now between the Killboys and the Stormcast. So yeah, I think it's quite interesting. It's building up, very, I like what I'm seeing so far. I was worried that I would get a couple of issues in. Maybe it wouldn't quite pique my interest, but it has done. Okay, now let's see what we get here. So these are our Stormcast Vindicators. Spears, basically, and shields, looking at the way that they are, you know, the very kind of fully armored, you got a few bare heads, but you've also got options of, the helmeted heads, which are quite like. I'm just curious how much, control you have over that. I think we've got 4 bodies, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heads. So we've got a few choices when it comes to actually heads, which I'm happy about. 7 actually. Oh, there might, yeah. So I think potentially, just looking at this, you might be able to go either full helmeted or full, helmets off, which I like the idea of. I think the shields, the details on the shields are very nice. If you look into this, so for push fit models, they look good, but I tend to find the proof is when you try and put them together, how easy it is to stop those gaps. Okay, and then you've got a very heroic person here. For the last part, it's a he. Some of these Stormcasts are women, but this one definitely looks like a man. Again, a couple of head choices. And again, I suppose it's what ethos you're going for. Obviously, I'm going to do these in a very rich blood red armour. Hopefully, I'll show you a painting session of that soon. Yeah, and you've got some options. He looks like he's got different, spare options. It does seem to be, overall, good set of models. Be interesting how they turn out. You've got, obviously, a standard bearer. I love flags and stuff like that. I think they just really make fantasy models striking. Never been a big fan of standards in 40k. But in my fantasy, you've just got to, get that kind of flag flying attitude. I love it. Okay, so I think overall it's quite interesting what we've got in issue 3. We now have enough models to have a little skirmish game and make it feel like a proper game. But I've promised myself I will also attempt to play every single scenario, because I need to learn how to play this game. So I'm partway through painting the first couple of issues, so issues 1 and 2. I've just finished my kill boss actually, apart from his base. So let's hope that on camera you can see how he looks. Hopefully it's getting focus there. Focus on the kill boss, not on me. Obviously, I've gone for a colour scheme. I've gone for tartan on the leadership. I hope you like my tartan. I'm not the greatest painter, but I'm not a terrible painter, or at least I hope I'm not a terrible painter. You can see the colour I'm going for. So hopefully I'll bring you a battle report soon, which is something I've never done before. Okay, so hope you enjoyed my review of issue 3. I'll be moving on to issue 4 quite soon.